Good day guys and welcome back to my channel. It's me Nate and we're here today with the FSX F-14. We're here today to actually start a series of F-14 tutorials with the goal of be able to fly the F-14 in DCS. And this is a disclaimer, this is a quick guide on how to start the F-14 up. And there will be more guides for the F-14 later on in the series with weapons and all sorts of good bits. But for now, today we're focusing on the startup. Now, I'm using Aerosoft's F-14 model. This is the F-14B, which should be the same model as released in DCS when that's released by Legendary Studios somewhere in the end bit of 2005. As of this video's production, there is currently no news on the release date yet, but hopefully it will be soon. And when that comes, by watching this series of videos, you will be able to do it and fly the DCS version. If there's any real big differences, I will go to make another set of videos. So, without further delay, here's the F-14 tutorial for startup. Now, the Aerosoft version has a cool functionality for shutting down your aircraft on the tarmac. So, unlike other FSX planes which start on the runway and actually shut it down. So let's go with the go to the mini manager and go to payload. Now, there is a whole bunch of checklists here which I'll go through in a second. But first we want to set in the cold dark mode. And that puts the aircraft into cold mode, which actually is nothing is starting as cold. So cockpit opens, ladder comes out. It's very, very cool actually. None of my other payware modules are like this. This is very awesome. There's also a checklist here, and the checklist is a cheat checklist because you can click individual items and the computer will do that action for you. So for example, if I click the ejection seat arm, it will arm the ejection seat. I do believe it has to be in order, and this is very cool for those who want to learn and do a full checklist without actually having to do it, or for those who just want to click through the whole thing and not worry about actually finding where everything is. Whatever your reasons are, there is a checklist to use it. But what we all must do if we want to start the team is click the fuel quality switch and turn on the external power. So once you click that, it shuts up the external power and it's good to go. And you can hear a little sound there. That's the starting external power generator, whatever it is. So that's all I've done. Let's go. Now, let me zoom out a little bit because I need to zoom out. I've turned off my face tracking because I use my hands ahead a lot, so to stop it from wobbling around, I've disabled it using my joystick to move around. So let's start by closing the cockpit so we don't get all this noise. Fine, cool. So, now as I said before, this is a reduced checklist. It's enough for you to learn the basics, but a good foundation of the startup so that you can just get into the F-14 and go. It's not a very detailed, we won't go for any of the emergency procedures or the pre-start, post-start procedures. This is a very basic get off the runway, but with a good base knowledge. So if you want a full checklist and a full comprehensive startup procedure, use the tutorial, use the manual that comes with. The manual is 400 pages, which is quite good reading for if you've got lots of spare time. So we won't go into that. So first start by collision lights, put the collision lights on, which lights on. Once collision lights are on, you can start the engine. So let's move over to the left. Let's crank the right engine first. I'm not sure if you can get an order, but I suspect the right engine is just the main engine, which will work. But whatever. Right engine start. Front into the indent. Now, I should give you some warning that the aircraft has a very powerful set of engines, and because they're not center lines, so like the F-18 where both engines are built the aircraft, they're off center. If you have your throttle, the one you physically have at home, on a little bit, it will produce a lot of thrust and lurch the aircraft off to one side. So make sure your throttle at home is actually physically pushing it back. Let's have the engine parameters we want. We want the RPM to be about 63 to 74%, which it is in that parameter. The turbine intake temperature somewhere between 600, somewhere around 600 mark, which is fine there. And the fuel flow to be 1,100 pounds per hour. And we want the oil pressure to be about 40 pounds per square inch, and the hydraulic pressure about 3,000 pounds per square inch. So everything looks good. Once we start that up, we want to put the corresponding engine generator on. So let's put the master generator for the right on because we've done the right engine. Now we go back to the left, and we do the same thing for left. So we want to crank the left engine. Left engine on, get it cranking. Fall into the idle position. Let's watch the monitor with the parameters. So those should match up because obviously the parameters should be the same. We're just going to skip ahead a little bit, move the camera over here, and we get ready to show the left engine, the left master. That's down. Right, so put the left master generator on. At this stage, we want to go to the back of the right-hand side and put on the the flight hydraulic switch to automatic, which I believe is here. The emergency flight hydraulic switch, auto. And we want the hydraulic transfer pump onto normal, which is behind, covered here, down normal. And then we go back to the left, and we want the 3 SAS switches, which is, I think, stability augmentation system, which is the stability system the autopilot uses to control the aircraft. So if you want the autopilot, you obviously put the SAS on, pitch, roll, and once that's all set, you can have the TACAN put onto a frequency, but this is added later. There is no TACAN here, so I haven't bothered with it. UHF radios as required, so the nearest frequency I only know is at which frequency is put onto a frequency set. So once that's on, we power on the heads-up display. At this stage, I will turn on the vertical display indicator, the heads-up display indicator, and the horizontal situation indicator. Once those are on, we want the corresponding displays modes on here. So TV to normal, nav mode for declutter on. Once that's all done, once that's all powered on, you want the oxygen on, so your pilot doesn't die of hypoxia. And you want the air intake to automatic, so you have to play around with that. Once that's done, you want the wing sweep to automatic, so you want to move this yellow switch here up to the top, and put the cover on. So now the wing sweep, because the F-14 is variable swept wings, which move back and forth on automatic, so you have to play around with that. Once that's done, you want the air source for both engine, this one, for both the air source and normal. And you want the lights as required, the anti-console light, their brightness down, unlike most other American planes which have an on-off switch, you can actually adjust the brightness as required. Okay, so now at this stage you put on nose wheel steering, so I'm going to put on the portion myself. Now I don't actually have it set up because it actually doesn't have a switch on its own. Aerosoft uses another switch. By default it's Shift G or Shift W, but for some reason it doesn't work on my computer. I need to go set that up at some stage. But you would have a Shift W, Shift G. If you look at the manual, it's there, and you get NWS here, which is nose wheel steering, which was not on, but that's where it would be if it worked. Right now we've reset the warning lights already, and you can set the altimeter by leave that as it is, and flaps as required. The numbers were on overall, but the flap switch is there, and you can also set the axes, and that's actually it. Yeah, now your F-14 is actually good to go. Yeah, that's simple. It's that simple. Very nice looking plane, very easy to set up. There's also the RIO position, which all works. This aircraft is TAC pack capable. Weapons do work if you have TAC pack. But that'll be another video at some point when I actually get around to learning how to install my TAC pack. That's all there. So yeah, so that's it. So let's push the throttle. Let's get this thing rolling. Brakes off. Speed's increasing. All the parameters are good. Bit of rattling. Nice little touch.